Hello, this is Casey. I'm coming to you once again. It's Monday. It's week 2, video 2 of how to write and publish your own book. Um, as I said in our intro, it doesn't matter whether you want to be successful in writing a book, whether you want to be successful in sports, being an athlete, successful in starting your own business. Success that lasts forever does not come out of the microwave. So if you're someone who's going to get impatient, don't even start these videos because it's going to be a lot of videos. So I'm going to really take my time in this because I don't want you to make any mistakes on the way. I want you to do what's right so you can be successful in publishing your book. So these videos may be long and drawn out, but they're going to help you. They're also, the reason why I'm doing weekly is to give you time to start changing, because if you have a book in your head or you actually written are not disciplining yourself. And it takes time to do that. It really does. It's difficult, and it takes time to take the time to discipline yourself so that you can actually share this book with people. And so week 2 on writing and publishing your book is for those who have it in your head. I have people who come to me and said, I want you to help me publish my book. However, I haven't written it yet. I haven't had the time. I'm going to get to it. And nothing. So today I'm going to teach you on how to prioritize your time so you can write. Everyone always has time to do whatever they need to do. The problem is they're using that time to do what they want to do and don't need to do. It's not a necessity. And so we're going to go over the different things that you're doing that you really don't need to do. And it's going to take time for you to discipline yourself to stop doing it, because in most cases it's an addiction. It's habitual, and it's an addiction, and you just haven't recognized it because it's not smoking or drinking, so you're just assuming there's nothing wrong with it. But if you seriously want to get the time to write this book that you have in your head, whether it's an autobiography, a memoir, a fiction, a self-help book, a cookbook, whatever it is, there's some things you're going to just have to give up so that you can have time to write this book. The very first thing you can do, which most people are going to have a problem with this, but this all depends on your life. Life is easy when you discipline yourself. It's difficult when you do what you want to do and you don't discipline yourself. But if you discipline yourself and only do the things that are needed in your life, life is easy. But it's difficult to discipline yourself because, unfortunately, this generation of people, we were raised incorrectly. We were raised incorrectly on how to eat, on how to drink, on how to exercise, on how to sleep, when to sleep, how to live, how to work. We were just raised incorrectly. So we're living on lies right now. And it's difficult to change your lifestyle from living a lie to living truthful facts. So the first thing, like I said, most of you are not going to want to do this, is make your bedtime 8 p.m. 7 p.m., 8 p.m. No later than 8. The earliest 7 p.m. No later than 8 p.m. And then, as I hope you all know, you're supposed to have 8 to 10 hours of sleep. If you go to bed at 7 p.m., you're looking at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So it means if you go to bed at 7 p.m., you're going to be waking up around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Now, of course, if you are, you work at night, this won't work for you. You'll have to just change the hours around. But what I'm saying is, go to bed so you can wake up early. Now, I'm assuming most people have a 9 to 5. Depending on how far away you live, you usually leave the house around 7, 8 a.m. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m. and you factor in, washing up, getting ready, eating, praying if you pray, you have about an hour to 2 hours of time you can use on starting writing. Now again, most of you are like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. You can do it. You just have to discipline yourself to do it. Now, of course, this is not the only option, but this is an option for those who, when I go through all the other options, say you don't want to do any of the other stuff. So you're going to stick to going to bed early and waking up early so that you have time. And even though it's an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, depending on how quickly you get yourself ready, it could even be 4 hours. if you are consistent with this 5 days a week, that is, let's say the least is 2 hours. 2 times 5 is 10. You now have 10 hours a week for you to use for writing your book. The next step, the other thing most people are not going to want to do, cut out unnecessary things. Meaning, if you're not going to die from not doing it, stop doing it. So no more television, no more internet, no more social media, no more talking on the phone endless hours, no more going to the bar, to the club. Get rid of those excess activities, going to the movies, whatever, hanging out with friends, and use that time. Now, most people spend anywhere from, I'll say, 3 to 10 hours watching television a day. That's hours you could be using writing the book. Now, I know, well, but my show comes on and this show comes on and I gotta watch it. You don't have to watch it. Remember now, those people are making their money. The question is, do you want to start making money? And even though that's not the reason why you start a book, but the question is, do you want to start living your dream? Because everyone on television is living their dream. And so do you want to continue to watch someone living their dream, or do you want to begin to live your dream? And that's the question. And if the answer is, I want to start living my dream, then you're just going to have to discipline yourself to turn off the television. Is it easy? No. I used to be highly addicted to television. When I was a child, I'll say, starting at 12, during the summer, I would wake up at 2 p.m. because I was up all night, all day. Basically from 3 p.m. till about 5 a.m. the next morning, I was up watching television. So I had a heavy addiction. The best way to free yourself from any addiction is to do a 3-week fast from it. Now, the thing about the 3-week fast is once you come off of it, you're not supposed to just go back to it. You're supposed to stay away from it. Now, certain things like television and social media, you could go back to, but in increments, meaning once you go back to it, I'm only going to spend an hour a day watching television. I'm only going to spend 30 minutes a day on Facebook. Things like smoking and, drugs and alcohol, you want to stop that forever. But do you do a 3-week fast? It's going to be difficult 100%. It's because it's cold turkey. There's no replacements. Sorry, no replacements. You just got to do cold turkey. But yeah, so you fast from it for 3 weeks, and then you commit to say only 1 hour a day I'm allowed to watch television, and that's it. And you got to, once that hour is up, you got to turn it off. Go to your computer room or typewriter with paper and pen and get the writing. So, and the other thing about cable, which you're gonna need money. Later on these videos, I'm going to be discussing money you need to publish a book. So, however much you pay for cable, $30, $60, $100 a month, if you get rid of that service so that you're not tempted to watch television, that's money the money you were paying, instead of writing out that check to go to the cable bill or the dish bill or the whatever you use, streaming bill, you can now write that check out and put it in a savings account, so that by the time you're done with the book, you have some type of money to get yourself going as far as publishing. So get rid of the television. Like I said, it's going to be 100% difficult. Trust me, I did it. But I don't even watch television anymore. It's very rare, and on occasions when I sit down and watch television. So it is difficult, but you can get used to it. When I started writing, I made sure. For me, it's actually, I would say, easier because I'm one of those people who I don't like to stop working until I'm finished. So when I started writing, I was able to start and not stop as far as being distracted by television, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, phone, texting, whatever. I kept my mind focused on writing. And so if you're one of those people who say you don't have time to write, you have time. You have to prioritize your time. Well, you have children, you're going to have to find a way. There is always a way. In life, there's always options. You just have to search them. Period. Never say there's no other way I can't. You always can. You always can. You always can. You just have to search out those options. And I don't want to offend anyone, but I usually ask the Holy Spirit to help me out. He will tell you, but 10 times out of 10, you're not going to want to do what he tells you to do, because this generation of people are the most selfish, lazy people, and we're addicted to everything, and we don't want anything that's going to help us out. We don't want the truth. We want only things that feel good, taste good, smells good, is good to us. But even though it may not be good in the long run, we don't care. And so if you're someone who wants to start living your dream, regardless what it is, you're going to have to start disciplining yourself, prioritizing your time, and start doing only the things you need to do and get rid of those things that you want to do. Yes, once you become successful, you'll be able to go back to them. But what I found out is once you start getting successful, you don't want to go back to them because you realize that's the thing that caused me to not be successful in the first place. You're not successful because you're, like I said, you're watching someone else's dream. And at some point, if you want to live your dream, you got to stop watching someone else's and start working on your own. And that means spending time working on your dream, which means you're going to have to stop doing a lot of things you want to do. So, the most part, those are the two basic options: is getting rid of the things in your life that's really not helping you. Like I said, if it's not paying the bills, if it's not helping you eat, and it's not putting shelter, a roof over your head, you don't need it, get rid of it. And the other option is go to bed early so you can wake up early. And the hours, you can use those hours. I would say for those who go to work, set an alarm, not for waking up, but for when you're writing, because you don't want to get so lost in your writing that you end up late for work. And keep your day job because you're going to need the money once we get to the publishing part. But yeah, set an alarm so that if you know you need to leave at 8 a.m. to get to work on time, set it for like 7:55. That way you can, you know, have more than enough time to save your work, close the computer down, and go to work. The other thing I want to say, which this is probably going to be in next week's video as well, is because I'm not really talking about how to start writing yet. I'm going to do that next week. Next week's topic is going to how to get started writing. Because I know a lot of people who say they have time, they don't know how to start writing. And I'm going to talk about that. One of the things you're going to want to remember to do is save your work constantly. As you're typing, I usually Control S if you Control S on a PC and Command S on an Apple. Save it frequently because you would hate for you to, you know, type up a whole page and then something happens and you lose it and you have to start all over. And not just on your computer, save it either on a disk or a USB drive. I forget what I was writing, but I was writing something, and I'm not going to say which computer I had because I'm not trying to get sued, but it crashed on me and I lost everything and I had to start I had the warranty, so they replaced it, but it was annoying starting from all over again. So save everything in one one of the things I also do is, let's say I'm writing and I'm done writing for today, I save it and then I email it to myself so I have an extra copy in my email files, so that if something should happen, I have that. And then when I go back to writing again, I email the new file and I delete the old ones. So do everything you can to save all your work, but most importantly, prioritize your time. And for the most part, you know what you can do. You just, chances are, don't want to do it. But if you seriously want to start living your dream, you're going to have to start prioritizing yourself and your time and your money as well. And make sure you only spend your time, money, energy on things that you need, not things that you want. And so those are the two options I have. I'm sure there's more. If you are an author and you want to share your ideas on how to prioritize your time to write, because it's one thing to have a great idea, but if you're not going to prioritize yourself to sit down and write it, it's nothing. It means nothing. And so make sure, that's all I can say is make sure you discipline yourself to prioritize your time, so you have time, like I said, an hour at the least, at the most 5 hours a day, where you can sit down and just type out this book. And like I said, you can either watch television and watch someone else live their dream, or you can stop watching television and start living your dream. And for those who just don't want to give up the television, then your option is to go to bed early so you can wake up early. And again, if you work the night shift, you still only need 8 hours. So you're going to find some time in your schedule. You have time. You just need to prioritize your time. That's it for now. Next week we're going to be discussing on how to get started.